my name's Fraser Chesterman, and as you know, I'm one of the directors of Futureprint, and I'm very pleased to have with me here Sales Director of Integration Technology, Mr. Dave Johnson.
Morning, Fraser. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. Thank you very much for joining us on these tech talks. So, Dave, just introduce Integration Technology to our audience. Tell us a little bit about you as a business, and describe your your strategic approach to products and so forth.
Thanks, Fraser. Yeah, can I just share a couple of slides with you, and perhaps I'll give a bit of background to it. So we're Integration Technology. We were formed in 2000 we were looking at the the specific needs required for the wide format print industry. And we developed a bunch of UV lamp products at that time, which was a bit different to what everybody else was doing and satisfied those needs. And we became, frankly, quite successful and made a good market inroad using those products. Subsequently, in 2003, the UV LEDs started coming along, and we very quickly picked up and developed a set of UV LED products. But that took about 5 years to take off and didn't really take off until 2008. Since then, we've concentrated heavily on UV LEDs and become quite successful at it again. And as you can see from the screen, we have a whole range of LED products, and we're now starting to look at new markets as well, of where we could take those products for the future.
Brilliant, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. I notice on here you have this sort of strapline: pioneering, innovative, flexible. What's that about? What's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, sure. So we, as I said about the LEDs, we always want to be pioneering in our markets. We want to develop good products for those markets, which makes us fairly innovative. We want to be pioneering and looking for new markets, and in all of this, we find that we have to be flexible. We want to be flexible. We don't want to say, no, we can't do it. We're always up for a challenge. We want to push ourselves, because that's the interesting things. Yes. We have standard products, and absolutely, they're really good standard products, but we also want to be able to satisfy specific customer needs.
And you have three strands of business, don't you? Your standard products, your tailored products, and your bespoke offering. So explain that to the audience in terms of the way you offer your particular product applications.
Yeah, absolutely. We developed a standard range of UV LED systems which use standard modular components. So we can make our standard products in 30mm increments of length. They're all addressable. These are very high spec standard products, but they are standard. For the most part, we don't hold them on the shelf, we build them to order. But because we use these modular components, we can turn them around fairly quickly, typically in a week or so.
Sure.
The next step on from that is, how can we, some people have machines that they've already designed and they want to add an LED system to it. They're going from conventional ink to UV ink, or from lamps to UV LED. Whatever that is, what we want to do is be able to adapt these modular standard products to suit them. So whether that be a cable entry, or whether that be where the water pipes come in, if it's water cooled, or a slightly different casing, or maybe we need to just look at the lengths that we're providing, we could do all of those things with our standard products. And we call that a bespoke level of we call that a tailored solution. So we're taking a standard product, modifying it slightly, and providing something the customer can use. The final stage, which is in some ways the part our engineers love the most, is the bespoke range of projects. So this could be area cures, where instead of building a line array, as you can see in the pictures, we can build an area that could, for instance, cure the desktop that you're sitting at right now. We could, it's particularly useful in the electronics industry, where they tend to do what's called a step and repeat process, and you're trying to cure an area at a time, rather than just having a line source and having the product moving underneath it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So just thinking a little bit into 2021 and what you've been doing, I'm interested in terms of where you see the big the big trends in terms of the print industry, which is one of your core parts, and also the opportunities where they exist in other parts of the industrial application marketplaces.
Clearly, the print industry is moving to much shorter runs. They don't want to be having to do big long setups. The customers of the print industry are demanding shorter runs. They want more flexibility, especially in these uncertain times at the moment. And I think that will continue. So a smaller investment for something that's much more flexible, or an add-on, an enhancement to another machine. So you may have a label printing machine and you want to do addressability, so you can go out and buy an inkjet coding and marking machine that you can literally bolt onto the machine, and now you can do addressing of the labels on the machine.
Yep.
And that goes on. You can look at all the other markets that digitization can help.
Yep.
On the industrial side of things, people are also looking to take out processes. So if you've got to apply a label to a product, that's another process. If you could print it in the production line, that's another level of logistics that's taken out of it. Oh, and it's even more flexible. So you can decide that you want this label today, that label tomorrow. I sometimes give an example in the wine industry, for instance, where flexibility can actually help you increase your pricing, frankly. So if you have a wine and it has a private label, and you say this is the private bin, and you make only 500 bottles of this, and you may be able to charge a premium for that, but you could, in theory, it's a bit unscrupulous, print a different label and say this is now the owner's bin, and charge, and still only have 500 labels. It's a bit unscrupulous, but
it's about flexibility, isn't it? It's about
absolutely
the flexibility. Some of the key things. Now, just before we go on this first video, give us a little bit of a tease on two of your products, two of your new products. Just I know you've got a couple of images. You've got a sanitizer product, which has been very interesting in these current COVID times. And you've also got something that's very much focused on fast cure, adhesives, coatings, that sort of thing. So just give us a little tease on those. I know that you've got a couple of images you want to show us.
Yeah, okay. The RS170 is a lamp-based system. So in some ways we're going back to our old technology, but UV lamps give out UVC. And that kills viruses. It also kills bacteria, mold, spores, all sorts of things. So we developed the RS170 to be a very fast way of sanitizing a surface. The picture here shows in an aircraft, so you can have a person. Yes, they have to get dressed up because UVC is quite aggressive, which is why it kills the bugs, let's call it. But it's someone who could walk down an aircraft and sanitize all of those seats very, very quickly. Now you can imagine an office environment, in lots and lots of other
ambulances, obviously, back of ambulances. So that's interesting. We'll pick up more of that on the second video. And just to leave us with a little teaser on your final new product.
The other system we have is we've developed a range of handheld LED devices this time, which cure fillers, adhesives, and coatings. And the key market that we see right now that has the materials available and is looking at this is the automotive refinishing market. So now you can apply a filler and cure it in 10 seconds, say, and then sanding it down, ready to repaint.
Really interesting. And we'll pick up on that on the next video. Thank you very much, Dave, for joining us. It's been really interesting, giving us a little bit of insight into integration technology. And we'll catch up on the next Tech Talk with Dave Johnson very soon. Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you very much, Fraser.